So good morning. This is good day or good evening. This is Niamo of the HealMobile and the 9 Principles for Loving Living speaking to you today. And I have on the phone with me the esteemed Dr. Norm Shealy. And I believe I first became aware of Dr. Shealy through Young Living Essential Oils. And you had founded the National Holistic, I don't know the full name, association, and then later on an institute. I wanted you to distinguish between the two for me and tell me a little bit about that history.
Well, interestingly, back in 1978, the number one reason that I wanted to start the American Holistic Medical Association was to me what was missing totally from medicine was spirituality. It had been totally dissolved and exorcised, if you will, for 300 years. And so it was to look at the broader field, both of spirituality, but also natural and safe healing. Let's face it, drugs and surgery are wonderful sometimes, especially in acute illnesses.
That's right. But
it was obvious to me that when somebody develops a chronic illness, drugs and further surgery rarely help. And so the American Holistic Medical Association was founded for that purpose. Now, interestingly, a little over a year ago, the WIMPs currently running the American Holistic Medical Association decided that the word holistic is never going to be accepted by the establishment. And who the hell cares?
Yes.
The establishment's the problem. It's not the answer. So they actually got rid of the word holistic and became integrative. Now, I'm not totally opposed to the word integrative, but the word integrative has been prostituted by a huge number of organizations and hospitals. And, they add a little foot massage or a little herb tea and call that integrative.
Yes.
It's not holistic. And for that reason, therefore, I decided that we needed a National Institute of Holistic Medicine, which clinically offers the broad array of safe, holistic alternatives.
Great. Okay, that does clear that up. I was saying, I know there's a story here. There's something here.
Yeah. Well, the reason is I feel that for 40 years, my clinic represented pain and stress management at an optimal holistic level. A dear friend of mine, Roger Cady, and his associate, Ken Dexter, have for well over 20 years looked at the broad field of headache in general in a broad and holistic way. And so he has joined us. And hopefully by early next year, we will have another physician who will be offering a broader array of cardiac and other approaches in addition. So it'll be pretty comprehensive.
Okay. It's what sounds like a plan and a project. And is it associated with your Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine? Are you still president of that, or is that a separate?
No. I'm just a member of the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine. It is pretty broadly represented. It is actually the largest physician organization looking at alternatives to drugs and surgery, and primarily from the anti-aging point of view. The two founders of it are friends of mine, and I've been involved in that, yes.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Speak to me a little, if you have a moment more, about energy and your crystal beds and your spa. I'd love to hear about that. This is your moment. Sell that.
Well, let's face it, everything is energy.
That's right.
Food is energy. Our body is energy. Our body is electrical and electromagnetic, etc. And so I've looked at the things that can assist in healing the body. And I did my first big research project on quartz crystals back in 1988. And demonstrated that because quartz is piezoelectric, which is the same as your body, your muscles, your tendons, your intestines, even your skeleton are all piezoelectric, which means that even when I'm talking, every cell in my body is being electrically stimulated by the movement of sound throughout my body. Put your hand on top of your hand on top of your head, your head on top of your hand. You and hum, and you will feel. You know, it's everything in your body is being electrified, even by your talking. And so we found that quartz crystal can amplify healing. For instance, after putting people through a training program to get them out of depression, highly statistically significant, they imprinted mentally a quartz crystal and wore it around their neck. They were 3 times as likely to stay out of depression as not doing that.
Yes, I read about that study. I heard you speaking about it on the YouTube as well. Oh, it's fascinating. Is that the ring of crystal? The rings that you have identified? Are they based on the quinary? What about that? Go ahead.
Well, of course, they came to me very slowly back in the 90s from one of my guides. I have a couple of angelic guides that I talk to. And I was invited to learn something about what was called microwave resonance therapy in the Ukraine. But basically, it's looking at human DNA frequency.
Yes.
Human DNA resonates or vibrates at 52 to 78 billion cycles a second. And those frequencies at a billionth of a watt are absorbed through the skin. So you can activate an acupuncture point with those electrical frequencies 20 times stronger than putting a needle in. The problem with the electrical is it takes time. It takes 3 minutes to activate an acupuncture point. And so when I discovered these 5 rings, that each of which has a 12 or 13 points, you know, it takes at least 21 minutes to stimulate a circuit.
I see.
So 4 years ago, recognizing that most people won't spend 20 minutes to save their life, let alone to do something they don't even understand well, I discovered that if we put on certain blends of essential oils, we can activate the acupuncture point in 1 or 2 seconds. And so in a maximum of 30 seconds, you can activate an entire ring. And I have proved with both electrically and with the essential oils that you can activate these circuits that selectively raise DHEA, dihydroepiandrosterone, raise both neurotensin and oxytocin, normalize aldosterone, raise and restore calcitonin, and or lower free radicals by 80%. That 5 circuit, of course, really is the most important discovery of my lifetime.
It's profound. Are you have you set up a system for imparting that knowledge to the next generation, or do you have a coterie of doctors who are learning that from you and at your spa, perhaps?
I actually am doing I call it transcutaneous acupuncture across the skin, if you will, rather than penetrating the skin. And I am doing certification programs for various health professionals in transcutaneous acupuncture. And by this time, not quite this time, within 5 weeks from now, I will have trained one of my Franciscan brothers, that's another big part of my life, to carry on this work unquestionably. He's only 40 years old, so he's obviously got 100 years longer than to go.
Yes.
But he will be my official person, and there'll be others, but at least Sergi will be the big one. I do want to mention very briefly the Franciscan brothers because it's a huge part of my life.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
About 25 years ago, I had a sudden insight that I had been a disciple of St. Francis of Assisi.
Hmm.
And in 2006, I was given a lecture in Canada, and the reincarnated St. Francis recognized me and came down and reintroduced us.
Ah,
And since then, I have met three of our brothers from that time, all of whom had been confirmed by St. Francis. And two of us went to Assisi in June together. It was the most, the greatest pilgrimage of this life. And the third one, I didn't meet until a week after I got back from Assisi, but that's Sergi.
yes, St. Francis of Assisi, there's a church, I believe, on 34th Street in New York City that an aunt of mine would take us to. Very, very profound saint.
Well, when you look at the fact that St. Francis had 10,000 disciples, I mean, isn't that amazing?
Yes.
This lowly, innocent pauper attracted 10,000 disciples. Apparently, the three brothers and I were among his closest companions at that time.
It's gives me chills. Gives me chills. So, does this have anything to do with the Native American church that you reference, Nehemiah?
Well, that's another interesting thing, because if you really look at my concept of divinity, I would say it's nature. That I feel more in tune with nature, the natural force of the universe, than any specific organized church. And for that reason, I was spiritually adopted by the Namenha, an intertribal, if you will, organization. And in fact, my sacred oils have been made sacraments of the Native American Church.
I saw that. I'm very excited to try those oils. It's profound. It demonstrates your life trajectory towards, the tangible scientific basis of your interests, all the way to the spiritually inspired and enlightened aspects. Is just a wonderful template and model for anyone who's listening or watching. And I'm just really so very happy to speak with you about it. Are you writing about this in your new book?
Yes, I just a week ago turned into the publisher my latest book, my next book, number 34. It's called A Physician's Encounter with Heaven. Yes. Well, the sacred rings, there's a special link there about the sacred rings.
Okay.
And then there is Events with Norm, which gives all the workshops that I do at my radio shows and that sort of thing.
Okay.
And then the resources includes Optimal Health, where they can go in and look. I must have at least 100 different recommendations for different disorders and alternative or holistic approaches for various diseases.
Yes. So those are all at normshealy.com then?
Exactly.
Okay, good. And the spa is more an experience of what you make, of what one makes of their encounter with all your offerings.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. Excellent. I'm so happy to speak with you about all these things. You go ahead and have a beautiful rest of the day. Be blessed. And I'm also inspired to look again at St. Francis of Assisi, because I'm one of those who sees connections in everything. And I was certainly introduced to St. Francis by my aunt when I was a child. So I want to go look into that again. And it's all good and we're all one. And I'm glad that you have reconfirmed that for me. However different we are in terms of our paths and our choices and how we reflect the beauty and the wonder and the excellence that we've been given on our path.